Okay, well, we might get started. So first of all, welcome to the Campion webinar for physics. I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to past, present and emerging custodians and elders of this nation and the lands on which we're meeting today. So my name's Susanna, I'm from Campion. I know we've got one or two people watching live, welcome, and quite a few people who have opted to watch the recording afterwards, so welcome to you as well. Those of you watching live, if you have questions as we go, do please pop them into the chat. So first of all, I'm going to ask James, our Managing Director here at Campion, to say a few quick words.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining. My name is James Cathro and I'm the Managing Director of Campion Education. Campion are all about making teaching and learning as easy as possible for schools. Delivering education has never been so complex and there's a world of new tools available, including Campion's own digital MyConnect 2 to help prepare students for their future. Campion is a family-owned company and I've been the MD for more years than I like to remember. But I've had the privilege of visiting many schools, meeting many teachers over the years, and finding out about what schools need, what students need, where education resources and learning pedagogy need to go. I hope you get a lot out of this webinar series, so let's jump in.
Thank you very much, James. So first I'm going to hand over to Pearson, and I can see we have Darryl and Rizwan on the line to talk about what's coming new from Pearson for VCE Physics.
Thanks, Susanna. Just had a bit of trouble turning my camera on. I'll do a screen share and then we'll be able to see the slide deck that we'll be using for this afternoon.
Yeah, that's great. I can see that on in the big screen.
Yep, great. Okay, so thanks again. I'll reiterate what Susanna said. Thanks for tuning in to watch the offerings from I think both Pearson and Jacaranda. We're starting off this afternoon with looking at our offering, and that is the Heinemann Physics 5th edition. Presenting will be myself, Darryl van Leerdam, and Rizwan Saeed, our Key Account Manager for Victoria. Just to give you a bit of an overview, what we've thought of this series is we wanted to make our Heinemann Physics 5th edition, so it's been around for a while, your one-stop shop for VCE Physics success. Obviously, we wrote it to the new VCE Study Design, and it offers a seamless experience for both teachers and learners, and it provides plenty of support to help build confidence, and that is build confidence for students, but also build confidence for teachers. What we've done is we've retained a lot of the beloved features of our former series, and we've improved it with new research-based ideas, making this series even better than the last. We have guaranteed or maintained the high quality content that Pearson is renowned for. We've included plenty of rigour and depth. Again, we've used an expert local author team to help us author this content, and we've curated it meticulously with our content team based also in Melbourne. Throughout the series, one of the key things that we've wanted to highlight is the reinforcement of those scientific skills and that scientific thinking. So in the context of this book, you'll see when we start the actual book, there's a whole first chapter dedicated to scientific thinking, and then we've reinforced that throughout the rest of the series. If we look at the components, we're sticking with our same tried and true model. We have a science student book, the student book, which is the physical text. We have our ebook, which we call the gateway to the digital resources, and we have our skills and assessment book. So this is a write-in, again, physical book designed to be like a journal for the students to work through and to reinforce and consolidate the learning from the textbook. Looking at the student book, each chapter starts with what we call a chapter opener, This is where we get a bit of a topic introduction, thought-provoking scenario or story, just to get the students thinking about what's going to be learnt and what the content will be related to in this particular chapter. And then, of course, we list our key knowledge and our outcomes as well. When you open up the chapter and you start flicking through, you'll see these little icons on the side. This one here is an example with a little eye and a red dot. This is a highlight. It focuses on important information such as definitions and summary points. We also have things called physics files. These include interesting information and real-world examples, again, to make that content relevant for students. We also have plenty of case studies embedded throughout, and these help place the physics in an applied situation or relevant context. And then we have what we call case study analysis, and these include real-world data to help students analyse and evaluate, or gives them opportunity to analyse and evaluate. When you go through the student book, again, you'll see plenty of worked examples. Again, we've taken on that model of the thinking and working, what the student's thinking, how they represent that working. And then we've also included a try yourself following that to allow students to test their understanding. Each section ends with a summary review that tests students' ability to recall and explain and understand key concepts. Each chapter then ends with another review, and that tests the understanding of key knowledge learnt within the context of the whole chapter. We also have plenty of icons embedded through the physical text, but you'll also see them in the ebook, and these help you to know when to access digital content and support at the best time. What we've tried to do is remove non-essential content as per the change, the update in the syllabus. We don't want extension boxes or anything like that getting in the way of distracting students or teachers feeling they need to cover even more than what they're supposed to. We've also updated our approach to language, and that has made it a lot more accessible for a broader range of students. Just looking at the ebook, if you look at the sample here of the layout of the ebook, one of the things that we've done is we've continued that online offline capability. We've ensured that it's available to all device platforms. And here's where you get to access those online gems, those support resources that reinforce that content that you'll see in the physical text. The clear design with the contents down the side and the resources tab down the side allows you to easily navigate to where you are in the book and also to pull up those relevant resources. One of the things we've also done with our ebook is maintained our partnership with PASCO and Cider House. So they're equipment providers, data loggers, all that sort of stuff, probes, and their software Spark Labs is also embedded in our ebook so that you have the capacity to use that software in the context of alignment with the particular practicals that are available in our series. Just looking at the skills and assessment workbook, what is the purpose of this? Well, it helps students consolidate their learning. We also provide a skills toolkit with key knowledge and study notes. We have plenty of worksheets and write-in practical opportunities. We have exam preparation, hints and tips. We have exam style questions. We have sample investigations for units 2 and 4 for the physics title. And we have lots of scaffolded support because, you know, a transition into those senior years, students are really looking for that guidance as to what those expectations of the senior years are. How do we support the teachers? Again, it's really easy to find. It's in the resources section. You can see there's a tab that has both student and teacher. So if you open up the teacher tab, you'll then have opportunity to download and look at all these files, whether it's in PDF or Word document format for you to manipulate and to save in your own folders at school. We have sample teaching plans, fully worked solutions, teaching notes and hints, risk assessments, lab tech support, student activity book support, suggested answers for pracs, as well as lots of alternate materials, because as you know, you might not have a piece of apparatus. What else could you use in its place? All those suggestions are there. And then we have assessment tasks that meet the requirements of the study design. For Unit 2, we have Area of Study 2 options available online, found in that teacher support. And we also have our exam readiness guide with lots of tips available there as well. The solutions for the student assessment book, we've got lots of past VCAA questions for year 12 in the upcoming version, and they have relevantly been mapped from the last 10 years so that you can search and filter accordingly. We've got a new feature that's come out in this series, and that's called our assessment tool, and that sits in and alongside our ebook. And what we've done is we've provided over 1,000 questions to really support and I guess help students and consolidate that learning over and above what's happening in the context of the student book. So here's an example here for measuring waves. You can see there's a bank of questions. There's 10 questions here. Students have the capacity, ability to go in and answer those question formats. We provide hints for support of a broadly differentiated classroom. And they're really useful for homework or for study or for consolidation of learning. So every section in the book has about 8 to 10 questions. And when you get to the chapter review, there's about 16 questions available. And each of those questions range and have a range of question types, and those differ from the student book. So here you can see the hints that are available, so students can log on and when they are struggling perhaps with an answer, they hit submit and it says, do you want a hint? And they'll ask for a hint. There's 2 hints, and then they can also reveal the answer. Teachers can assign tasks directly to individual students or groups of students or to the whole class. Teachers are provided with real-time analytics and can see whether students ask for help or if they recorded correct or incorrect responses. And this data is able to be drilled down to each question level and is fully exportable for reporting purposes. Okay, we'll just jump straight out and we'll jump into the online version. So I'm going to just demonstrate where to find this stuff looking at the Heinemann Biology series, because this is live. So if we just click on the view more, just below the ebook icon, it'll open up to our available assessments for that particular title, for this biology title. And you can see here they are. So for chapter 1, we've got prior knowledge and prior knowledge reflection. It's important for students to get an idea, or you to get an idea of where students are at before they start a topic. And then at the end of the topic, we also do a reflection opportunity for them as well. And then in the context of the chapter, you can see, again, we really stress scientific method. So we want to start with that. And then you can go down to, different chapters down here where it opens up into the more relevant content. So looking at this one, say, look at the scientific method. You just click on that. And if you're, as a teacher, reviewing this, you say, oh, this wouldn't be bad for my students to do. You can look at the questions and you can just review them, go through and see if they're relevant. If it's a particularly hard question, you can also click to see, okay, well, if a student asks for hints, what are the types of hints that they're going to get for this particular question? And then it also show you your answer that's available. So once you say, yeah, that looks fair, that looks great, I will share that with my class. If you just hit the share button, it provides the hyperlink here, which is ready for you to copy and embed into your learning management system. That way, then the student clicks on that hyperlink and is able to open up this particular task. That's part of the content that you want to cover in that lesson, or that expectation of that lesson. What happens then? Well, as a teacher, you have the ability to view what's gone on with that particular task. So if we just look at this one here, so looking at, again, Heinemann Biology, here's the class, year 11, there's 12 students in the class. Let's view this. We can see our assessment results. So looking over here, we have, so for chapter 1, online prior knowledge assessment, 6 out of 11 students have completed that. And then I can drill down and look at the results. So it gives us an overview of who's completed it, what their score was. You can see how many attempts they made. You can even open it up and see the answers. And then you can also export that data. If you wanted to get a different perspective on that particular data, we can break that down into learning outcomes. So if I just open it up, this one here, this is the same task opened up relevant to the learning outcomes for those that particular topic. So again, formulate questions or hypothesis, and you can see how they've performed. Do they independently plan? Again, it's reflected in their results, and you can get that graphic. And then if you break it down to the question level, you can see how students answered each particular question. So you can see Martin here got 100% down the bottom, whereas Satishna has got 0%. So she might need some extra support. Again, all of these are exportable to CSV files. Just jumping back to home. Seems to have just taking a little while. And again, looking at the view more. So you can see that was the assessment access. You've also got your resources easily accessible through this external tab here, where we can find all our teacher support resources. So all your programming, your exam readiness guides, and then breaking it up into chapter specific stuff. You can see, you know, you've got your interactives where you've got direct links to all those particular tools. Again, you can embed those into your learning management system. Okay, I might jump right back into the presentation, and then I'll hand it over to my good mate Riz, who will bring it home with the last couple of slides to talk about availability and pricing.
Thank you, Darryl. Thank you everyone for joining, and obviously Campion for arranging this. We're very pleased that we're getting a lot of interest, and we're more than happy to answer any questions offline as well. The bottom line of all of this is that we're very much ready for delivery. The books have gone through all sorts of processes, and now we're at the last mile. So if you would want to know about the pricing, you can see that the ebook itself is just for $64.96. The ebook printed, the book textbook printed plus ebook is slightly higher, which is bullet point number 2, $94.95. And the skills and assessment book, which is separate, is $34.95. Now, all of this together is $120 approximately. And all books will be available. The online and the printed content will be available by mid to late November. We're really hoping mid-November, and so this is sort of, we kept the margin in, so we're really hoping we will be delivering a lot sooner or on the earlier side of things. Next slide. So yes, so the next step is that if you're wishing to get more interest, to get more information, our webinars are coming out. We recently announced that we did our, sorry, there's someone wanting to admit, so I'm just going to press admitting, get that pop up off the screen. Yes, so the webinar for this subject are on the 15th of August, and there we'll have our experts, our content related people, our publishers, our authors, everyone under one virtual umbrella for you to ask questions, to inquire, and to see content in a lot more detail. And we really look forward to everyone joining. For this, there will be a link which Darryl and I will share. And in terms of the webinar for ebook, it's on the 17th of August. So these two, please save the dates, mark them, and please join us for the conversation and demonstration. Again, we've added the link here for the physics where you can register. Darryl, is that right? This is for the registration, right? The last link?
I think this is to the landing page. So it goes straight to the landing page to find out more about the series.
And we will share the link for registration as well. In a
you could pop the link in the chat if you want, and then it's a live link people can click on.
Yeah. We'll do it after this presentation. And so yeah, we really look forward to serving your students with these new upcoming editions.
Fantastic. All right, and there's the contacts there. So that's great. Thank you so much, Darryl and Rizwan. I don't see any questions in the chat, so we'll probably just all take a deep breath, say thank you so much. And I can see Brent is here from Jacaranda, who is the next stage. So yeah, thanks, guys. Looks great. Okay, and Brent, here we are again.
Susanna, how you going?
Great to see you.
Great to see you too. I think this might be the last one I get to do. I think I'm finally handing it off to somebody else to do the psychology one. So that's kind of exciting for me. So we're ready to go? I can
Yes,
start?
please take it away.
Perfect, excellent. Let me just share my screen a second. Excellent. Well, hopefully everyone can see my screen there. And I'd like to just start off by thanking Susanna and the team at Campion for having us along today, and to thank everyone for making it to this afternoon's session so that I get a chance to take you through the new Jacaranda VCE Physics series. My name's Brent Ramsay and I'm the Director of Publishing at Jacaranda. I've been in the Jacaranda publishing team for around 10 years, and I was one of the lucky publishers that got to work on our previous editions of Jacaranda Physics that we released in 2019. So some people may not be aware, but a couple of years ago, we did a massive campaign. We went out and spoke to a lot of teachers about physics resources, what was working, what wasn't, and we took all of that feedback and created the current editions of Physics, Physics 1 and Physics 2. I will just say, if you aren't familiar with our recent editions of Physics, please do reach out. You can email me at that email address there, and we can provide you with access so that you can get a look at our current editions, what they're like in our Learn On platform, and then we can, and then you'll see kind of the direction we're taking with these new editions for the new study design. Okay, so the brand new editions, which are being released shortly, so we should have the Physics 1 print titles ready in October. The digital will be tracking ahead of that, so the digital versions will be ready just before that. So Physics 1 available in October 2022, and Physics 2 will be available in term 2 of 23. So we're really proud of the new editions. You know, they're developed by a team of practicing expert Victorian teachers for VCE students. The new pricing structure that we have, we've got annual subscription to the digital Learn On platform is $50. If you choose to also have a print format with that, it's just an extra $30. So the print format is $30 on top of the $50 digital subscription. And then we have some new flexible pricing models, one of which is called Supercourse, which allows you to join multiple Jacaranda resources together. So for instance, in science, this is really popular with you know, year 9 and year 10 electives, where we want to, where schools would like to put a units 1 and 2 title together with, say, Science Quest 9 or 10. And we can join those titles together. So it's one access point for the students and teachers to get that content. There is a link there to access more and get sample pages and things that we've got available. I will just say, with our new editions, or one of the big things we did for our previous editions was we included past VCAR exam questions in the digital. Well, now I'm really happy to say that we've gone one step further and we've got past VCAR exam questions in the print titles as well, in the print series. So, so students and teachers will be able to access those relevant VCAR exam questions during every single lesson. It's really powerful for students to be able to access questions of exam level. So in units 1 and 2, obviously we'll have exam style questions coupled in with any relevant past VCAR questions since 2013. We also have customizable SACs available at the end of area of study. A couple of editions ago, if you purchased a Jacaranda resource, you would have been purchasing eGuide Plus for your students, eGuide Plus for teachers, and maybe you purchased a study on product as well to access past VCAR questions. Those days are gone. everything is all in one place now. It's all in Learn On. So as a teacher and or as a student, you log into the same title, and just the status of you as a teacher means that you get access to all of the teacher support materials. So there's no longer any need to purchase separate titles or separate teacher resources. It's all in one place. And in Learn On, you get to connect to your students. You get to track their progress through the course, and you get to report on their achievements. So you can identify areas of strengths and weakness and customize, or you can help them customize their revision and study practices to improve. I mentioned this earlier, the super course with flexible options. That one there you can see is Science Quest 10 and Physics together. That'll be ideal for a Year 10 Physics elective. Okay, so the new additions, obviously we're aligning to the brand new Physics Study Design. The author team, along with the publishers, recently did a deep dive into the study design. We do have the slides and we do have the recording available. So if you are interested, please just email me, bramsey@wiley.com. We're happy to send you through the recording of that deep dive and also the slides. And these are our brand new resources, Physics 1 and Physics 2. I'm just going to show you, we talk about direct alignment to the study design. So I just wanted to show you, this screen's a bit hectic, but this is Units 1 and 2, or Physics 1. And just to show you that our topics are directly aligning with the study design. So obviously, Unit 1, Area of Study 1, how are light and heat explained. We've got those 3 topics that align to that area of study. Then we've got topic 4 aligning to area of study 2, and then topics 5, 6, and 7 aligning with area of study 3. As I go through this, you'll see that we have, not only do we have topic level content, but at the end of each of these areas of study, we also have an area of study review, which gives you as a teacher access to quarantined assessments, whether they're SACs or tests, as well as giving students access to area of study level practice exams and also practice SACs in the print resource. Unit 2, Area Study 1 is covered in topics 8, 9 and 10. And then we've got the Unit 2 Area of Study 2 options. Now we do provide, we're going to provide support for all 18 options. So in topic 11, we will have support for all 18 options and really give teachers and students that jump off point to be able to go about their research and investigation. And then we've got topic 12, which covers area of study 3 with investigation design, scientific evidence and scientific communication. So that's our direct alignment to the study design. We've also put there our alignment to 3 and 4, which you will see is the very similar structure in our breaking up the topics to areas of study, and then also having area of study reviews. So Physics 1 will have the 12 topics. As I mentioned, topic 11 will be the options, and then topic 12 will be that scientific investigation. When you open the resource, whether it's in the print or the digital, you will see that explicit alignment to the study design. So you will see us call out unit headings and you will see us call out areas of study headings throughout. So it's very explicit where you are and coverage of the study design. I will just say that on the right hand side, you will see this little edit button up here in the top menu. This allows you in Learn On to edit what students see. So for instance, if you want students only to focus on Unit 2, Area of Study 1, you can hide all of the other content so that they're focusing only on that specific unit. For instance, we do have some background knowledge subtopics. If you don't want students to access those, you can hide those. Or extension subtopics, you can also hide those as well. So you have complete control over the subtopics or the topics that students see and students do not see. It's really useful, for instance, if you're doing some summative assessment and you don't want students to access the reading content at the same time. So you can set questions in Learn On and then hide the reading content so they can't actually look back during the assessment. We've tried to make the study design as visible as possible through our content. So in each of the topic openers, you will see the key knowledge dot points that are covered in that specific topic. So they'll be listed on the topic opener. And then when you open up the topic, in the first subtopic of each topic, we will clearly outline the learning sequence as well. So you'll clearly see the pathway through that topic. In each subtopic, at the start of each subtopic, we will clearly outline the dot point from the study design that we're going to cover in that subtopic. And generally, it is 1 dot point per subtopic. Sometimes they're a bit more, but the authors, whom all are practicing teachers, have gone through and applied a teaching and learning sequence to the dot points. So you can see here, obviously refraction using Snell's law, that's the dot point that we're covering. As a teacher and as a student, you can be confident that all the content that's covered in there relates directly to that dot point, unless it's explicitly called out. So for instance, you may see in some subtopics that we've got background knowledge. So background knowledge just might be some supporting information that might help bring students up to speed with a certain concept. So this one down here we can see is background knowledge on electrical circuit rules. Likewise, we do offer opportunities for extensions. So if there's case studies or additional information, we'll call that out as extension as well. So as a teacher, you can guide your students to ignore that, or you can guide your students to pay attention to that. Often the extension things are elements that we'll be studying in the 3 and 4 course. So they make sense to sort of raise them when we're covering related concepts in units 1 and 2. I will just go back to this page again. So we spoke about everything within the subtopic relating to that key knowledge dot point. And there are lots of elements that do sit within a subtopic. So you can see on the right-hand side here that we've got some sample problems. So we've got 2 sample problems there, some practice problems. As you go through the topics, you will see more and more elements. So we always highlight key ideas or key formula in pink highlight boxes. So you'll see those throughout as well. But if we just say drill down on that sample problem. So we've got a number of sample problems, and these are structured in the tell me, show me, let me do it framework. So obviously it's a question, often questions that students will encounter in exams or tests. So this one outlines the sample problems, and then it divides it into the think and write approach. So what should a student be thinking? Well, they need to recall the relationship of whatever, and then what does the student actually need to write down to be able to work through that question? So dividing it up. So there's the tell me, think, write. Then there's the show me. So all of these sample problems will be supported by a teacher-led video. You can see the example here of a teacher guiding through a lightboard explanation of how to answer that sample problem. So there's the tell me, there's the show me, and then there's the let me do it. So after every single sample problem, there will also be a similar practice problem where the student will get the opportunity to have a go at answering that question themselves. And just to say that fully worked solutions are all provided in the solutions documents. As you move through the subtopics, you will also see investigations. So in previous editions, we've had investigations separated out at the end of the topics, but in this edition, we're embedding the investigations within the content that it's related to. So you'll see these investigations and these icons popping up within the content. So I'll just explain the icons. So the first one that's up next to investigation 8.1 is the e-logbook icon. So that one means that this investigation, while it's in the reading content, it's also supported by a downloadable Word document, which allows you to customize the investigation. It allows students to insert all of their results and answer all of the discussion questions. So the e-logbooks are a really valuable resource. Again, they're available in PDF or Word document for customization. There are also teacher and student versions of those. We'll go into those in a bit more detail later. If we look at investigation 8.2, we can see that it's got the e-logbook icon. So every investigation will have that, but then it's also got a teacher-led video icon. Now, these are a series of investigations that we have filmed in school labs where we have teachers guiding students through the investigation. We already have a pool of these and we will be adding to them. So there's going to be 20 more investigations created for these new editions. So a lot of investigations supported by videos. We've heard really valuable, great feedback on these videos. Teachers love that they're filmed in school labs and that they're delivered by teachers, but also they love the flexibility that these videos provides the opportunities for students to be able to watch an experiment and then fill in the results in the e-logbook as they go. It almost provides that flipped classroom kind of thing. Students can watch the investigations before they come in and do it, or they can watch the investigations and then the class can discuss the results. So really great. Also, teachers really love the fact that there was a pool of videos during remote learning. They didn't have to stand at their stoves or to boil water and things. So this is the e-logbook. So you can see there, that's how they're set out for students to enter in hypothesis, but also their results and things. There's another example of the teacher-led video. You will see this is the teacher version. So you can see here that the teacher version has got additional information. It's got the key knowledge, key science skills. You'll also see that there's blue text. So this is the answers overlaid. So already the teacher version's got, teacher lab notes have got way more information. You can see here that they provide sample results and sample answers to all the discussion questions. So that's provided for every single investigation. Additionally, we do provide risk assess for every investigation as well. So that's all within each of the subtopics. Then at the end of the subtopic, we've restructured our question set. So we had a lot of feedback around, teachers wanting access to more auto mark questions within our online platform. So they didn't want to have to manually mark or rely on students to manually mark questions. So we've created 3 distinct question sets at the end of each subtopic. One is an online quick quiz, which is just a set of auto mark questions. So teachers can set those and they will not have to mark a single question. Then we've got the exercise questions. So they're the questions that appear in this panel here. So exercise, they're from the textbook. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we've now got exam questions, including any relevant past VCAR questions, now in the print. So they're in a 3rd set of exam questions. So if you want to set those exam questions to the students, it's really easy because they're a nice or separate set that you can access. It's really important that we flag this, is that we provide feedback for all students on all questions. So whether it's the quick quiz, whether it's the online quick quiz, which can be accessed in Learn On, or it's the textbook questions or the exam questions. All questions come with feedback. So if you're doing the questions offline, there's the answers in the print, and then there's also the downloadable work solutions documents, which have solutions for every question. If you're accessing them online, then obviously it's the automatic feedback and then access to the work solutions online there. And for the exam questions, that includes the past VCAR examination report notes, and it also includes a sample response and marking guidelines as well. So students know exactly what they need to do to be able to get the full marks. For the exam questions that appear in the print, we'll also be providing a teacher-led video that steps the students exactly through the steps that they need to do to answer that question correctly. So lots of video support. So that's for every single subtopic. Starts with a key knowledge dot point, ends with those 3 question sets, and everything in the middle of that is directly aligned to that knowledge point. At the end of every topic review, we've got a concept map summary, and then we've got 2 additional question sets. Exercise set and then a set of exam questions. Now those exam questions have been structured like an exam, section A and section B. And again, those exam questions are all supported by teacher-led video solutions and immediate feedback. In the Units 3 and 4 title next year, students will also be able to access the full exams. So not only the exams in each lesson, but they'll also have an area to go to where they can actually sit the exam from start to finish and access any relevant questions from previous years. I mentioned that we'd had area of study reviews. So at the end of each area of study, we've got 2 activities that are student facing. So we've got a practice examination, again set up like section A and section B. And then we've also got a practice SAC. Now these practice SACs are in the print, but there's also available as a downloadable Word document. So students can customize them, or teachers can customize them and set them for students. Students can type in their answers and do what they want. They also have sample responses and marking rubrics available. At this area of study level, we also provide quarantine SACs for teachers as well. So there's quarantined assessment that teachers can use to customise for their students as well. Already mentioned that. I did mention this earlier, but just to say we do have online support for all 18 options in area of study 2 of Unit 2. We can provide more information on those. And we do also cover off on that scientific investigations topic as well in topic 12, also online. Just scoot through there. I'm mindful that we're getting close to the end. I do also just want to say that one of the big bits of feedback we had around our titles was teachers really keen to see additional teacher support. So a couple of things we've done is in our Learn On platform, just behind the reading content, there'll now be a Teach On tab, and that Teach On tab is only visible by teachers, but it allows teachers to instantly access any teaching advice, curriculum or study design mapping, additional activities, lesson starters, all of that kind of support that is useful when you're doing a lesson. So everything that a teacher needs is available within this lesson view. And obviously, teacher quarantined resources will be available in the resource panel, including work programs, quarantined assessments and tests, and additional activities. I suppose one of the biggest things about Learn On is our test maker. So I've mentioned through this presentation a number of different types of questions at different locations. So in each subtopic, we've got quick quiz, textbook questions, and also exam questions. And then at the area of study level, we've got a practice exam. And then we've also got teacher quarantined assessments that sit at topic levels and a set area of study levels. So if you think of all of those questions that are available in the system, you as a teacher can come into assignments and you can customize your very own tests or assignments by accessing all of those questions. All you need to do is you come in and you just select the topics or subtopics, or even down to the question sets that you would like to get questions from. So for instance, you might say, I only want, you might say, I'm doing Forces in Action, chapter 10. So you might say, well, I don't want to do any marking. I want them to only be auto mark questions. So you could go through and you could select only the quick quiz questions from topic 10. You can then review those and you could set those as a revision exercise for your students. As the students complete those questions, you get real-time data coming through to your dashboard on student performance. So let's just say this was that Forces in Action test. You would immediately see that out of the auto mark questions that you've set, that Sebastian is tracking at 43%. Griffin is only tracking at 4%, so he's got a bit of work that he needs to do. And you'd be able to look at that data and act on that. So really powerful. Anything that you set through the test maker, you'll immediately see real-time results coming through to your dashboard. You can also, at this point, you can choose to go in to provide students feedback. So if you wanted to go in to see how Griffin's doing, you could click on that mark button, and then it comes in and you can see exactly how Griffin's going. What's their results? What are the answers? And you can come over to the right here and you can provide feedback in 2 different ways. Either you can type feedback into the field, or you can record voice feedback here, and Griffin will receive that the next time he accesses Learn On. Of course, it's not only just the test that you set that data is tracked on, it's every single question that students answer within the system that you will be able to track their performance on. This is a dashboard that's showing results by course. So if you imagine this column on the left here, where it's got 3 real numbers, that is topic level. And then as you move across to the right, these are all the subtopics. So if you remember in physics, we have a key knowledge dot point aligned to each of the subtopics. That means that this report shows you performance of sort of student performance directly aligned to key knowledge dot points. So you can target student study and revision based on these results. This is one view. This is by course. We've also got view by assignment. So if you set, say, a pre-test and a post-test, you can compare those together. And then we also have a class comparison test. So if you've got multiple physics classes, you can, if you're the teacher of both of those, or even if there's another teacher of the other class, you can join both classes and you can see student performance against each other in the class comparison. Feel like I can stop and take a breath. This is the QR code that gets you to all the sample pages. There's also a link there. You will get access to these slides, so please feel free to click on the link to access that information. Here's our pricing again. Digital access is $50 for annual access. Digital plus print, it's just an extra $30 for the print. And then we've got that $55 super course offer. If you do have any ideas on how you might like to use that super course, you know, next year we can join Physics 1 and Physics 2 together, or, you know, whether you've got use for that. It's really popular in maths. Lots of junior maths classes are using it as a combined maths 7 to 10. So every student, whether you're in year 7 or year 10, you're getting access to all 4 titles, and allows teachers flexibility to go up and down the levels and assign questions. That can also work for 7 to 10 science. Physics 1 will be available in October. As I mentioned, the digital version will be tracking just ahead of that. And Physics 2 will be available term 2 next year. The other really exciting offer that we've got is the new Jacaranda 7 to 12E library. It's a really cost-effective way to enable all students to have access to high-quality content, and it's a full school solution, $75 per student, and everyone gets access to all Jacaranda resources from 7 to 12. That's it. Thank you.
Wow, Brent, that was incredibly impressive. I'm not sure you did take a breath in that whole thing.
Well, now that that's my last presentation, maybe I can take a breath now.
You just wanted to get everything out there. So that's fantastic. Lots of great detail. Thank you. I don't see any questions in the chat. If anybody who is watching live or in the recording does have queries for either Pearson or Jacaranda, please contact them directly or drop a line to your Campion account manager, and we'd be pleased to help out. So yeah, we'll say thank you very much. Thank you, Brent. See you next time.
See you, Susanna.
Whenever that might be.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, everybody. Bye.